We outside. Welcome to the channel. If you're here, then you're here on purpose. There are no coincidences. And I pray that these messages reach whoever they're meant to reach. I've been thinking and reflecting on sea turtles a lot lately. So that's what we're going to talk about in this video, sea turtles. I was once working at this job, and as I've become more comfortable with myself, I tend to not really fit in. I never really fit in, but I don't fit in now, and I'm more okay with it. So at this job, I was working lots of people from a range of cultures and backgrounds. And there was this man who decided he wanted to make fun of the way that I looked. He didn't know I could hear him. Maybe he did. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But I had on this particular day, I had on glasses. I wear glasses. Sometimes I wear contacts. And this particular day, I had on a pair of glasses that were pretty oversized. And he was making fun of me with another woman, saying that I looked like a turtle. And at first, initially, I was thinking, I didn't understand why I was being made fun of. Like, there's so many more interesting things that you can talk about than the fact that I look like a turtle. And for a moment, I was offended. And then I was reflecting on it, and I started to think about what I thought of sea turtles. And I actually find sea turtles to be beautiful. So what started out me being the butt of this grown man's joke turned into a compliment for me. Because I find turtles to be beautiful and majestic and ancient and fully tapped in. So I want to share with you what I know about sea turtles. And I'm sure that there'll be something in it for you, or that you can relate to, that you feel aligned with. So when a turtle is ready to go and drop its eggs off at the beach, a sea turtle specifically, it goes back to the beach, or most times it attempts to go back to the beach that it was born. And turtles have a very long life cycle. So to have the memory and the sense and the intuition to go back to your birthplace to give birth in itself is just absolutely beautiful and mystical in so many ways. So the turtle goes back to the beach that its mother had buried them as little eggs, and they do the same. They bury their eggs deep into the sand, and they go back to sea. They never actually interact with their babies when they're babies. They have to trust that the ones that will survive will survive. In my heart, I feel like they eventually meet in the sea at some point. Because to have such a long lifespan and never meet another turtle that you're connected to, just, I don't know, it doesn't make sense. So my intuition tells me that eventually they cross one another's path. But back to the babies as eggs. So the mother leaves, goes back off to sea, and eventually the eggs, the turtles actually decide when they're ready, and they break themselves free from their shell. And once they break themselves free from their shell, they have to dig themselves up out of the sand. Now, mind you, all happens at nighttime. They are guided by the light of the moon and the stars. What a beautiful, majestical story and adventure of birth. So they dig themselves up from the sand after they've cracked themselves out of their own eggshell, and then they make a dash towards the ocean, guided by the light of the moon and the stars. So there's a lot that happens on that journey. They are met with predators all around them. They are met with man-made obstacles like houses on the beach and extreme lighting, unnatural lighting that can cause them to be confused and not find their way to the ocean. So they have to travel this very treacherous terrain. They're on a mad dash of survival to get to the ocean. Only knowing instinctually and from DNA memory and the cosmic light of where they're going. So as you can imagine, many don't make it. And the ones that do, once they reach the ocean, they swim nonstop. They're escaping predators. They're getting out far deep into the ocean for safety. There's safety for the sea turtle in depth. So they swim something like 2 days nonstop. They're just swimming. They're just swimming. Mind you, they just broke themselves out of their shell. They took a mad dash only guided by the moon and the stars. There's crabs and seagulls, and I think even sometimes raccoons at certain oceans that are waiting to eat them because they're easy prey. They're new to life. They have no defense mechanism. They have nothing that protects them except ancient knowing and wisdom and the guidance of the moon and the stars. and whatever's in their DNA that tells them their only goal right now is to survive. How beautiful. How strong the will that takes. The trust that takes from being buried by their mother. The level of trust that is required for their survival is mind-blowing. So they reach the ocean, and they're out in the depths of the ocean. They've made it. Now they float. They're deep at sea. They're coasting. If you've ever seen the movie Finding Nemo, and they come across the sea turtle that's on the current, a turtle spends a good part of its young life on a current, essentially. They're drifting with the debris and the seaweed of the ocean. It provides them the nourishment and the protection that they need. And once they're out into the ocean, into the depths of the ocean, they can finally rest. They've made it. They've survived. Now they're in their rest and recovery stage, where they kind of coast and they float. And even to this day, scientists are not sure where it is that they go. It takes a sea turtle something like 50 years to mature. That's a long time. That's a very long time to grow. That's a lot of time spent growing. And then once the turtle is ready to have its eggs, it goes back to where it was born, and the cycle repeats itself. What a beautiful journey the sea turtle goes on. It reminds me of the spiritual journey. Some of us have spent years breaking through our shell, running on the beach, only guided by the moon and the stars and our ancestors and something in our heart that tells us this is where we need to go, but we don't know where that place is. We're trying to survive. We're running to get to some place that we're not really sure where it is. We're going to our ocean. We're going to our safety. We go to our depth. And once we reach the deep, it's time to rest. But unlike the sea turtle, we are so conditioned to survive that we struggle to embrace and accept the rest. We struggle to embrace and accept the fact that we have to spend some seasons, some time of our life on the current. We struggle to trust that in the current, we will have all that we need, that we will be protected, and that we will have the nourishment that we need to survive. We struggle to trust that. But the sea turtle tells us that you've survived. You broke through your shell. You ran. You made it past all the predators and all the man-made obstacles. All the people that saw you as an easy target, the crabs and the seagulls and the raccoons, you made it past all of them. You made it past all the predators that were in the ocean once you got to the shore of the ocean. You made it out into the deep, into the depth. Maybe you're in your phase where it's time to ride the current. Or maybe you're in the phase where it's time to make the journey back to the beach that you were first born. To have trust that the seeds, that the eggs that you bury will make their way. Maybe like the sea turtle, this ancient, wise, intuitive, beautiful, majestic creature, you need time to mature and grow. It takes time for beautiful things to reach maturity. There's so many lessons that the sea turtle has to offer. So that man making fun of me, saying that I look like a turtle, thank you. I thank him. And that day I learned a lesson. And in that day, it helped feed my curiosity even more about sea turtles. I always loved turtles, especially sea turtles. But his insult turned into a beautiful message for me. A reminder of how tapped in and ancient and intuitive and what a beautiful survivor that the sea turtle is. Sometimes we get messages from unexpected places and unexpected people. And they don't even realize that they're delivering a message that will actually uplift someone. What they meant for harm, God made for good. I love animals. I love that animals come to me. I love that they feel safe because they help to remind myself that I am a safe space for myself. That I can be and I can continue to cultivate that energy and to feed that part of me. Because in this world, I am met with a lot of aggression and it confuses me. I'm met with a lot of people who are intimidated by me. Especially since I no longer wear a mask. But it is a blessing to be connected to nature and to animals in a way because they actually help me to remember my humanity and to see the humanity and the beauty in others when only they show ugliness. It's a reminder of grace. It's a reminder of acceptance. It's a reminder that we can change and we don't have to be the way that we see others, or we don't have to be the way that we've been. We get to evolve. We get to grow. So, let's take a deep breath. That was a beautiful and powerful message that only a beautiful, ancient ancestor like the sea turtle can help bring through. I am so grateful to be on this journey with you. I know that the messages I share will reach those who will benefit most from them. So if you resonate with this message or any other message, please comment, share your experiences, share something uplifting, like, subscribe. If you already are subscribed, thank you. Thank you so much for being on this journey, this collective experience, the oneness that exists. And as always, take care.